Okay, this section goes along with Chapter 9, Section 2, looking on payroll deductions for Social Security and Medicare. Pretty straightforward, this unit. One of the things I'd like to caution you with, though, is part of your assignment each unit is to read the chapters. There are 3 chapters in each unit, and the first thing before you do the assignment is always to read the section. And that is because not only do you get the background information for the business side, it'll also tell you how to do the various types of problems that are being assigned, plus the little nuances of the business side, so you can apply the correct mathematics to the problem that they're asking you to. The first, number 1 there, is a straightforward calculating Social Security and Medicare tax. So the tax rate is 6.2% for Social Security, and Medicare is 1.54%. Now you'll notice when you read that there is a base wage, so you get taxed up until that wage is reached, and then after that they don't tax you anymore for Social Security. For Medicare, there's no limit, so no matter how much you make, you're always going to pay into Medicare. Okay, so on number 1 there, as their example, they've just simply converted the percentage to a decimal in both of these and then multiplied, and that's where they got those numbers. So in number 2, we notice it says, what are the Social Security and Medicare withholdings for an executive whose annual gross is $118,430? Well, one of those nuances was right up here, okay, with the base wage. So even though he's made $118,000, he only gets taxed on $113,700. So it doesn't matter that he made more than that. He's only going to get taxed. We're going to change that to a decimal and multiply. Now, because he has no limit, he's going to have the $118,430 times the 0.014 for the full amount here, because there's no limit. Okay, so these are just calculator problems again. So just simply moving back over, put it on our calculator. So we have 113,700 times 0.062 equals, so 7,049.40. And I have to scoot that over here, and I'm going to move this over to this side of the page here a little bit here so you can kind of see that. And then the 118,118,430 for his full amount times 0.0415, 117, and they're going to round up. The government's always going to want that extra half penny, so they're always going to round up there, and then they just simply add these two up. 64,6678. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward, nothing fancy here. Just remember that to read the section, because those are those little nuances that help you do the chapter. Okay, the bottom, then they're asking you to figure out the Social Security and Medicare tax. Again, it's the same thing we were doing up here. You're just going to current month, he's not over any limits, so Social Security is going to be 1540 times, again, right, the 062. Oops, I have to put that in again. I missed my 0, so I'm just going to clear that out. 1540 times 0.062. Get a funny number there. Okay, so $95.48. And Medicare tax, then again, is going to be on his current month, so 1540 times, right, 0.145 equals $22.33. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. They're not trying to trick you. It's just plugging the numbers in, doing it on a calculator. Now this last one, he's got 145,000. His current month is 12,450. Okay, but he's reached that limit. Remember from up here, he's already there. So he doesn't have any Social Security tax anymore, because even if he's already there, he's already reached his limit, probably the month before or so he got cut off on that. Now remember, when you're doing your problems, let's say that he had only, his gross earnings were $110,000 up to that, and then that next month he crosses, so he's only then taxed on that remaining $3,700 until he gets to the limit. Okay, so once he gets there, he's done, so he doesn't have any more of that. But he would still have Medicare tax. So we plug that in, 450 times 0, okay, $180. And again, they're going to round up there. The government's going to want that half penny, 53. All right. So it's straightforward. They're not trying to trick you. Just have to make sure you understand where to apply the limits, and then if there is monies that's over that limit, you only get taxed on that difference. Okay, the next page, or the next section, is reading how to read a table. Okay, so this is out of the textbook here, and we're just kind of going to go over that. I won't do any of the problems, but just make sure we're all okay to reading the table. So if your wages are at least $750 but not more than $760, so that $10 range, here are the number of withholdings. So 0, 1, 2, or probably 3, probably the most common ones. This is the amount of your income tax to be withheld. Okay, so this is just how to read the table. So you go down, the more you make, the more you get taxed, of course. So here, like 1,000 to 1,010. And you have 0 withholdings, you have to take out $186.88. The next page, this is on weekly. The next page is monthly, so you have to decide which the problem is going to ask you both, weekly or monthly, so you got to make sure you're on the right page in order to determine the tax, and then you're just going through, finding where it is, and writing it down. So they've done the math for you. You don't have to do anything, you just have to read the table. So again, it's pretty straightforward. Just make sure you're using the right table, and with all the sections, please read the sections. They're good information in all of them.